All right, so unmet expectations are probably the number one source of conflict in relationship, but the advice around expectations is all over the place. Some people say you should have high expectations in relationship. Others say you should lower expectations. I even hear some people say you should have no expectations. You could call them desires, but you should have no expectations in relationship. So it gets a little confusing as to figure out whether or not should I have expectations, should I lower expectations, should I get rid of expectations. So in this video, I want to talk about expectations. Are they realistic? Are they unrealistic? Should you have any? And if so, should you lower or raise them in your relationship? That's today on Relation Shots. Hey, welcome to Relation Shots. My name's Eric Wooten. If this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome to the place to get practical relationship advice that actually works in your relationship. If you've not already done so, go ahead and click the subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss any upcoming videos. If you want a free guide to intimacy, you'll see the link in the description area below. Make sure not only download that guide, but check your email because we want to get another resource in your hands, whether you're dating or whether you're married. We want to get you another free resource in your hands, so check your email on that as well. If you need help in your relationship in any area, check out the description area below. We've got classes, we've got counseling, we've got a marriage membership that if you're a couple not in community, I highly recommend you be part of that community as well. You can check all that out in the link below. So let's talk about let's talk about expectations. That's what I want to talk about. So here's the deal with expectations. Some people say you should really have high expectations. Other people say expectations are probably the problem. You probably need to lower your expectations. Some think you should have no expectations and you should just allow the relationship to unfold as it goes. Well, well-known author, psychotherapist, relationship expert Esther Perel says that expectations are resentments waiting to happen, which makes sense. Other marital therapists will tell you do not have expectations because if you don't have expectations, then you won't be disappointed by your partner as much, right? And then psychology professor and research expert Donald Bauckham says this. He says that people actually get what they expect out of a relationship. So people who have low expectations end up in relationships where they're treated poorly, and people that have high expectations end up in relationships where they're treated well. So I don't know about you, but that makes me more confused. So are expectations good? Or are expectations bad? Yes. The answer is yes. Because guess what? Not all expectations are created equal. So it may be that you do need to raise expectations in some area of your relationship. It may also be that you need to lower expectations in other areas. And it may be that you should just not have certain expectations because they're unrealistic and unhealthy for relationship in general. So what I want to do is I want to give you 3 thoughts on expectations that hopefully you can apply today to your relationship and get your relationship going in the right direction. Number 1 is this: have high expectations for how you are treated in a relationship, right? Everybody, I believe, should have a high expectation for how you're treated. As the research has proven, if you expect certain things in a relationship, you tend to get those things in a relationship. If you don't expect them, you tend not to get them, right? So you should absolutely have high expectations in relationship, in marriage, for being treated well, for being treated with care and kindness, for being treated with affection, for people being considerate to you. You should absolutely not tolerate control, manipulation, blaming, shaming, criticism, attack. You should absolutely expect faithfulness from your partner. You should absolutely expect commitment from your partner. You should be treated well. This is not an area where you want to lower or remove expectations. Everybody should be treated in a relationship where the other person cares for you, is considerate of your feelings, is considerate of how their actions and behaviors impact you. And if people are not willing to do that, you need to raise the expectation. You need to put boundaries in place that will require the other person to treat you well. This is absolutely an area where you should have high expectations. Thought number 2 is you should lower your expectations on what marriage actually can provide. Now, we live in a world that has over-romanticized relationship and marriage to the point where I think our expectations have increased to an unhealthy level in what you expect marriage to provide for you. We've gotten to a place now where we are expecting one person, our spouse, to be everything to us, to be our best friend, to be our confidant, to be our emotional support, to be our cheerleader, to be our passionate lover, to be our business partner. It used to be that the community around you provided many of those different things, but now we have an expectation that one person would somehow be able to provide all of those things in relationship. It was not too long ago when family and duty were the keys to marriage, not romance and passion, right? But we've shifted that, and now we've created unhealthy expectations for what one person actually can provide. And so that's when people start going into marriage and they're like, well, I want him to be funny, but then serious at times. I want him to be super kind, but then bold. I want him to be laid back, but then super driven. I want him to be spontaneous, but also organized and tidy, because I can't stand that. I want her to be a great mother, but then also give me the time and be attentive to me. I want him to be a great provider, but then I also want him to be emotionally present with me. And we have all these things. Ludicrous song, right? I want her to be a lady in the street and a freak in the bed, right? But the problem is, you get two qualities, lady and freak, but you don't get to determine when they show up. So what if it reverses and you got a freak in the street? She causing problems, drama. You're always having to pull her out of bars. You're having to get in fights because of her mouth. And then when you get home, she's a lady in the bedroom. And you're like, that's boring. The problem is with these expectations that the people would be both sides of every coin, and that's not realistic. If you want the super laid back, chill, calm, easygoing person because it fits with your spicy temperament, that's probably not going to be the same person that's going to stand up and fight for you in a bar. That's not going to be the same person that's going to challenge everybody that gets in the way, right? You can't always have both sides of every coin. For what you like on one side, you may not get on the other side. So I think when it comes to what one person can provide for you in relationship, you may need to lower expectations. Now, I do believe that you should share your desires and things that you want in a relationship with another person, things that you expect. But I also think you should be willing to be reasonable and negotiate at times if the other person cannot or does not want to provide all of the things that you're expecting. What are your most important things? Maybe you can compromise in some areas and make sure that other areas are being fulfilled. Maybe some of your friendship needs, some of your emotional support can be with some good same-sex friends, that you don't put that weight on the shoulders of your spouse. But I just think you have to be willing to lower expectations in some areas of the relationship, because we've created an environment where one person is supposed to provide everything for us, and that's just not realistic. Which leads to my third idea, which is drop the unrealistic expectations. Don't lower, just completely drop them. Sometimes we have an unrealistic idea of what marriage should be like and should do for us. Listen, you cannot expect your marriage to be free from all conflict. That's not realistic. You need to drop that idea. You cannot expect your marriage to heal all your childhood wounds. Sometimes we get in a relationship with somebody because their temperament or who they are, we believe will help heal areas of us that have been hurt. Now, I believe that you become a part of your spouse's healing process when you get married. But when I say part, that means you can support them. You can create an environment of acceptance where they feel actually feel more accepted and are more able to heal, but they have to do their own work. So you need to heal if you have childhood stuff. You cannot expect a marriage to be the thing that heals you. You cannot expect marriage to be your pathway to self-actualization or whatever you complete me and you make me want to be a better man and all that stuff. Listen, if you're looking to your marriage to provide for you your identity, your purpose, your significance, you're setting yourself up for failure. Those are unrealistic expectations. You should find those on your own if you're a person of faith. You will only find identity, significance, purpose, and security in your relationship with God. If you're not a person of faith, you need to find that in yourself and in other relationships, not put the weight of that onto your marriage. You should also not have the expectation that you will resolve all your conflicts. Research shows that 2/3 of conflicts in marriage are perpetual. They ain't going away. Listen, when you sign up to be married, you are signing up for a specific set of unresolvable issues based on you two who are in the marriage. Now, if you get out of that marriage and get another one, you may lose some of those unresolvable issues, but you get a whole new set. So the set is specific to the two people who decide to get married based on personalities and temperaments and woundedness and likes and dislikes and perspectives on life and worldview and communication patterns and all those kind of things. So the reality is you probably have some unrealistic expectations for what marriage is supposed to be doing, and you need to completely drop those because that's what's causing your frustration and resentment. So I do believe that you need to have a high expectation for how you're treated. I believe you may need to lower some expectations of what one other person can actually provide for you. And I think you need to drop unrealistic expectations about what you think marriage is that it's not. And that is how we build a healthy relationship. Marriage is about building a friendship, being committed to one another, sharing in experiences, supporting each other's dreams and goals. It is not some over-romanticized, they're going to be my everything. That's not realistic. You have a whole community to provide that. And if you don't have community, you need to get good community around you. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. What do you think about expectations? Where have you gotten frustrated with expectations? Drop a comment in the comment section below. If we can help you in any area of your relationship, you'll see all the links below. Just check out alteredmarriage.com and you can see some of the things where we may be able to join with you in your relationship journey. And until next time, I'll see you right back here on Relation Shots.